A company so powerful, so untouchable, such was its magnitude that it seemed to control the very forces of the market. The name was Enron. Enron was not just a corporate giant, it was an empire that promised endless growth, innovation, and wealth. But little did we know, behind the shimmering facade of success lay a ticking time bomb. A web of lies, greed, and deception that had everyone under its umbrella. In the early 2000s, this financial titan came crashing down, wiping out billions, ruining lives, and shaking the foundations of trust in corporate America. But the question remains, how did one of the world's most admired companies transform into the poster child of corporate fraud? This is the story of Enron, and we are here to present a cautionary tale of how ambition, unchecked power, and moral compromise led to a spectacular collapse. This one was to be remembered by generations to come. Buckle up, because this is a tale of corporate scandal like no other. The Enron tale started in 1985 with the merger of two companies, Houston Natural Gas and Internorth. These were not very flashy corporations. However, these companies dealt in natural gas pipelines, transporting energy across the US. Internorth was founded in 1930. It was a stable but aging energy company, while Houston Natural Gas was a rising star in the Texas energy market. Houston Natural Gas was led by a man named Kenneth, a man with an ambitious vision. Hold up, folks, don't forget this name because we're going to talk about him a bit more often in this video ahead. Kenneth had a gigantic vision. He wanted the simple transportation of energy and for it to become a powerhouse in the industry. This merger was indeed very crucial. After all, it combined the vast infrastructure of Internorth with the innovative thinking of Houston Natural Gas. Together, these companies formed Enron, which was to become the Enron scandal in the coming years. But before that, Enron was to soon change the energy industry in ways no one could have predicted. And it did. It did change things in a way that those involved in this project only saw money around them. Kenneth's vision. Talking about our main man, Kenneth, here's something about him. His world revolved rapidly, and so did his big plans. He sought to reshape Enron into a behemoth, a company that would not just react to market changes, but create them. He envisioned an energy empire built on data, speculation, and financial maneuvering. It wasn't just about supplying gas anymore. It was about turning energy into a tradable commodity, one that could fuel entire economies, and, in turn, line Enron's pockets. Can you smell billions of dollars? Mr. Lay did as well. But behind this grand dream, there lingered a shadow. Enron's success diaries. Before shadows are discussed and this video gets spooky, we are shifting focus at days when Enron made it big. Yes, very, very big. As mentioned earlier, Enron was focused on transporting natural gas through pipelines. Under Lay's leadership, instead of merely moving energy, Enron began buying and selling it like stocks, creating a digital energy marketplace where they could speculate on prices. This shift allowed Enron to dominate the energy markets, turning a traditional industry into a cutting-edge financial powerhouse. Investors were dazzled by the concept. Who wouldn't be? Enron wasn't just about energy anymore, it was about shaping global markets. Enron's shift from energy transportation to trading was nothing short of a goldmine. By the late 1990s, the company was reporting jaw-dropping profits. In 2000 alone, Enron's revenues skyrocketed to over $100 billion, making it one of the largest companies in the US. It was a titan, with its stock price reaching an all-time high of $90.75 per share. Investors could not get enough. They were all having time of their lives. There was an aura of invincibility around Enron. Just think about, in 1999, it made over $893 million in net income, and by 2000, that number surged to $979 million. It seemed like the company could do no wrong. Enron was really invincible, but behind the scenes, those lingering shadows were crumbling under the weight of expectations and insane level of pressure. These troubles were setting the stage for a dramatic fall, a very, very dramatic fall. Enters Jeffrey Skilling. This tale of rise and fall has another hero, Jeffrey Skilling, a sharp, ambitious visionary who took Kenneth Lay's grand ideas and elevated them to a whole new level. Skilling joined Enron in the early 1990s, bringing with him not just a passion for risk, but a flair for financial innovation. Under his guidance, Enron shifted from being just an energy trader to a financial powerhouse, one that could manipulate the future, or so it seemed. Skilling's brilliance was spectacular. He had the ability to transform Enron's strategy through a daring concept called mark-to-market accounting. On paper, this sounded like the ultimate tool for success. Instead of recording actual profits when deals were completed, Enron could now book estimated future profits the moment contracts were signed. As expected, it gave the company an instant boost. But mark-to-market accounting was a double-edged sword, and Skilling wielded it recklessly. While it made Enron look like a thriving juggernaut on the outside, inside the company, things were far more fragile. The profits were only on paper. As long as new deals were signed, they could mask the gaps. But if those deals didn't pan out, the rot began to set in. The company was no longer dealing in physical energy. It was gambling with financial instruments that most couldn't even begin to understand. The pressure to maintain this illusion of success was enormous. Executives scrambled to secure deals, using increasingly creative and deceptive tactics to keep Enron's meteoric rise intact. Internally, tension brewed, and when tensions there is too much hush-hush, some employees who could see through the lies whispered about the growing inconsistencies. They could see the gaping holes that mark-to-market was leaving behind. Others, swept up in the company's success, ignored the warnings. Like many, they were intoxicated by the company's image as an untouchable giant. When success comes, people tend to lose their minds. History is full of such examples. In our story, it was Enron executives who transformed from mere business leaders to celebrities. Kenneth Lay, Jeffrey Skilling, and CFO Andrew Fastow graced magazine covers, gave speeches, and were heralded as financial visionaries. Their names were synonymous with success, innovation, and unstoppable growth. Enron's top brass lived like royalty, buying multi-million-dollar homes, luxury cars, and private jets. Parties were extravagant, and no expense was spared. The company's headquarters in Houston became a symbol of its excess, an architectural marvel that reflected the arrogance that had taken root in Enron's culture. The executives acted as if the rules didn't apply to them. Enron wasn't just making money, it was shaping the future of the global economy. But beneath this glittering surface, the foundation was cracking. To maintain their image of profitability, Enron's leadership turned to a clever yet dangerous tool: special purpose entities, SPVs. These off-the-books partnerships were used to hide debt, keep losses off Enron's balance sheet, and continue the illusion of soaring profits. Andrew Fastow, the architect of these SPVs, ensured that Enron's finances looked pristine. The company could continue to report billions in profits while secretly offloading its liabilities to these shadowy entities. The beginning of the end. Cato the Elder once said, "At the very moment when success is greatest, the seeds of downfall are sown." These words fit perfectly in the case of Enron. As Enron's success story reached its peak, cracks began to appear. The company's soaring stock price and dazzling growth couldn't hide the warning signs that something was amiss. Financial analysts, who once praised Enron, started noticing problems. They found strange things in the company's reports and wondered if everything was as it seemed. But the impressive numbers made it easy to ignore their concerns. Journalists also started asking questions. Their reports uncovered some unusual practices at Enron, like using tricky financial schemes to hide debt. Although their stories were alarming, many people didn't want to believe there could be trouble at such a successful company. The collapse unfolds. The fall of Enron came crashing down with a shocking speed, turning one of the most admired companies into a symbol of corporate failure. As the SEC investigation dug deeper, the truth about Enron's financial misdeeds began to emerge. The once impressive financial reports were exposed as a house of cards built on lies and deception. Enron's practice of using special purpose entities, SPVs, to hide massive amounts of debt was laid bare. The company had been presenting a false image of financial health while secretly burying its problems. In early November 2001, Enron stunned the world by announcing it had to restate its earnings by nearly $600 million due to accounting errors. This revelation caused a wave of panic. Investors who had trusted Enron's glowing reports started selling off their shares. Enron's stock price, which had been a high-flying $90.75, plummeted to just over $1 within weeks. The company's value evaporated almost overnight. As the situation worsened, Enron's own employees were hit hard. Many had invested their retirement savings in Enron stock, believing it was a safe bet. Now they watched helplessly as their savings disappeared along with the company's fortunes. The fallout extended beyond just financial losses. It shattered lives and careers. In December 2001, Enron filed for bankruptcy, marking the largest bankruptcy filing in U.S. history at that time. The fallout didn't stop with bankruptcy. Key figures, including Kenneth and Jeffrey Skilling, faced intense scrutiny and legal battles. Lay was found guilty of fraud and conspiracy, though he died before sentencing. Skilling was sentenced to 24 years in prison for his role in the scandal. The once glittering titan of industry had crumbled into a cautionary tale of hubris, deception, and the consequences of unchecked ambition. Enron's collapse led to the Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002, which introduced stricter financial reporting and corporate governance standards to prevent similar fraud. It also prompted reforms in auditing practices, emphasizing the need for greater independence and transparency. The downfall highlighted the critical importance of corporate ethics, driving companies to strengthen their compliance programs and focus on ethical behavior. The scandal revealed the vital need for transparency in financial reporting, as hidden debts can lead to catastrophic consequences. The chapter of Enron might have closed, but the unethical work practices have not ended in the world. Enron's scandal, however, did reshape corporate regulations. We wonder what would have happened to Enron and its vision in today's age had its catastrophic downfall not happened. The list could be endless, but we would like you to share your viewpoint on this. Let us know in the comment section below. We love hearing your views.